What do you like to play?
Pokemon!
Pokemon, 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 Pokemon. What do you like to play?
Pokemon!
Pokemon, Pokemon, Pokemon. You see?
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Batmon bringing you a UU match this time. Gonna be against Mully692. Let's get started. I'm gonna decide to lead off with my Azumarill because it can pretty much match up with anything on his team fairly well, and he decides to trick me some Choice Specs. And Choice Specs Azumarill is about as good as a Choice Band and Mismagius. Now that I no longer have the Choice Band, I'm fairly certain that he's gonna go out to a Suicune to take nothing from that waterfall, so I go out to my ShayMAN to counter that, which is just brilliant because that is exactly what happens. I'm not going to try and overprotect anytime soon, so I'm just going to go straight for a Seed Flare, and it does nothing to the incoming Registeel, of course, because, you know, obviously it's a Registeel. But I do have the Earth Power. Going to do a relatively nice chunk, I guess, and he misses the Toxic, and right here, going for the Earth Power is kind of baiting his Mismagius to come in as well, and that is exactly what happens. I go for the Seed Flare, and that is what I like to call a dead slut. With the Mismagius down, that gives him a free chance to go into his Victini, which, yeah, Joey's good, but not good enough to take a V-Create. So I just go into my Rotom Heat, which is actually a laser disc player, if you didn't know, and I'm going to take a critical hit V-Create like a boss. Look at that. And he shows me right here, after I get some leftovers, that he is Scarfed, because he does manage to outpace twice in a row and hit me with another V-Create. But yeah, laser disc players are cool, and they can live 2 V-Creates and get off a Pain Split and get a lot of HP back. There is no way in hell he's going to want to stay in against my Rotom now that he's at -2 on both of his defenses and -2 speed. So I'm going to go for Will-O-Wisp, hopefully catching something off guard on the switch. But he goes into Suicune, which is pretty weird because I could have easily gone for the Thunderbolt and done some nice damage right there, but you know, Will-O-Wisp miss happens all the time. But I'm gonna go into Registeel now because I know I can take Scalds for days, and I can get up my Stealth Rock, which is going to be a really big help in taking out that Victini. I can get my rocks up and outcome the Mamoswine, which I'm fairly certain he's going to overpredict and go for Stone Edge or a different move because I've been switching around predicting a lot lately, and this is about time for him to start predicting. And look at that, he did predict my switch, and I stayed in, and I'm able to get a Seismic Toss off. He does get a crit on the Icicle Crash, which is pretty funny because he actually gets 2 in a row right here, and that's going to take out my Registeel. I'm not seeing any Life Orbs, so I'm definitely thinking this thing is Choice Banded. So I'm going to go into my Scarf Heracross to just wail on anything with a close combat, which I do go for. And Suicune takes it really well, so I know this is probably a bulky Calm Minder. But that's why I have ShayMAN to counter all these damn bulky water types in UU. I sped this next part up because it's pretty much just me overpredicting, thinking that Registeel is going to come in, and eventually just going for Seed Flares and taking out this Suicune. But guys, got some news. Turns out that my toe is infected. That's right. In March, at the very beginning of March actually, I broke my toe. A very heavy dresser smashed it, and it was just all broken and everything. And yeah, it still has not healed all the way, and apparently now it is infected. So that's great. I'm gonna have to go to a freaking toe doctor now. He's gonna have to cut off my toenail, and we're gonna start this process all over again. But enough about that. Take out the Suicune, and there is the Victini once again, but taking that nice 25% from Stealth Rock. He's actually going to overpredict and go for the Wild Charge, and I'm going to take that incredibly well because I do resist it and finish him off with an Earth Power. ShayMAN is most definitely the MVP of this match, doing some crazy work, but I'm definitely not at a good enough amount of HP where I can take a Choice Banded Ice Shard from a Mamoswine. So I'm just going to leave it in as fodder and get a free switch into something else. So great job, ShayMAN. You did what you needed to do. I'm going to bring out my Mew now because Mew is like super fun to use in UU. And I know I can take a Banded Ice Shard easily because I have a lot of HP investment. This is actually my kind of bulky, nasty plot sweeper, fast Mew. It's timid with a lot of HP and special attack. But yeah, I'm going to take 2 ice shards relatively well and finish off this Mamoswine with an Aura Sphere. But sadly, I don't get to sleep in this game with Mew because he can just go into his Jolteon now and finish me off with a Shadow Ball. And I was pretty sure this thing was Specs, but you never know. You see there, Shadow Ball's gonna take me out easily. So, goodbye, Mew. Go into Heracross now, because Heracross, I know, without a doubt, can definitely take a Shadow Ball, because Heracross has some pretty nice special defense. But close combat, just gonna devastate anything on his team. I think he only had Registeel and Jolteon left, so Heracross is definitely the Pokemon to finish up the game. It's kind of weird to say, but I was really scared that this thing was Scarfed, and because I have been screwed over by Scarfed Jolteon before. So I'm just going to switch out and go into Rotom, and looking at that damage, I am 100% sure that it is a Choice Specs variant. And this was pretty funny. Goes for the Thunderbolt, gets the paralysis, and then I get fully paralyzed, and I just kind of laughed at that because, yeah, I don't know what the odds of that happening are, but I'm fairly certain that it is very, very low. But no big deal. I'm just gonna go into Heracross now and go for the stab, close combat. I am Scarf, so I will outpace and take him out for the win. So that was a great game. Mully, right? Yes, Mully692. Once again, guys, cool guy. Go check him out and stay tuned for the top plays. Hello and welcome to Batmon's top plays of the game. Starting us off at number 5 is Mully, showing us that he knows what he's doing, because he knows that I'm not gonna go for the Seed Flare twice in a row, and he does get the burn on the Scald, so that is great for him. And yeah, it just shows how good of a player he actually is. Number 4 this week is when I predict him to either go for the Rock move or the Ice move, and definitely not go for the EQ on my Registeel, which is just great because that is exactly what happens, and I am able to get a Seismic Toss off and do a relatively good amount of damage to this Mamoswine. Number 3 is more of a lulzy play than anything else, but he goes for the Thunderbolt and manages to paralyze me, then get the full paralysis, which is just hilarious. Coming in at number 2 this week is ShayMAN, who, yeah, this is why it's the MVP of the match. Look at this, predicting the switch and going for a Seed Flare on the Mismagius. That was just so very sexy. The number 1 play of this game was when I get to take out his Victini to an over prediction that he makes, and this pretty much sealed the deal for the game because Victini was the last big threat he had on his team. So once again, guys, definitely go check out Mully. He uploads a lot of cool stuff, and please leave this a like, comment, and subscribe if you really want to. Anyway, guys, I'm out. Have a great day.